In the last hour, the Oregon Health Authority announced 3 new cases. That brings the total to 24. Clackamas County now has its first case, and Washington County has 2 more. The Clackamas County person had contact with someone with the virus. The other 2 in Washington County didn't, and it's considered community spread. Washington is up to 366 cases, but that's not the big story out there. Governor Jay Inslee is closing all public and private schools in King, Snohomish, and Pierce counties for 6 weeks. And among all the closures nationwide, this one is huge. Disneyland is closing tomorrow for only the 4th time in history.
Well, early this morning, we heard from Oregon Governor Kate Brown and other state leaders. Oregon followed Washington's lead and banned all gatherings of more than 250 people for the next 4 weeks.
Yeah, Pat Doris was at the news conference today, and Pat, the goal is to really mitigate spread as much as possible.
Well, that's right. They're trying to slow the rate that this thing is spreading now. And here's the concern. There are 688 ventilators at Oregon hospitals. If your life is on the line, you're going to need one of those. And if 1,000 people are suddenly needing one all at once, it'll be awful. And that's why the governor is banning huge gatherings right now.
Our strategy now in Oregon is shifting away from one of containing isolated cases of COVID-19. Now we are focused on preventing the worst impacts of a mass outbreak from coming to pass.
And unfortunately, we have to look ahead at what's happening in Washington and Italy, and we have to use the public health tool of social distancing as the best way, in our opinion, to try to slow the spread of this virus through our community, spread out those severe and critical cases so they can get the health care they need when they need it.
And Italy is on lockdown. 12,500 people have the virus, 827 are dead. But there are also reports from the hospitals that there are not enough ventilators. Doctors are having to decide who gets one and potentially who dies. So that's the sort of thing that folks here are working hard to prevent. That's what it means when Dr. Vine says spreading out the cases so that people can get the health care they need when they need it. It's really an interesting time. We're right on the front wave of this tsunami.
Yeah, and I just question, how many hospital beds does Oregon have?
Well, we have between 6,600 and 6,000. I've been told both, so it's somewhere in between there. So there are a lot of hospital beds. There's just not all that many ventilators. There's probably plenty of ventilators for routine day-to-day, but that's not the time we're living in right now.
Okay, scary stuff. Thanks, Pat.
Well, Governor Brown and others have used the phrase social distancing, and this is really about limiting exposure to the virus.
Unlike other viruses, though, coronavirus is not spread through the air. You actually have to come in contact with a sneeze or cough droplets to get infected. Social distancing, though, basically means giving yourself some space and avoiding others when possible. Stay out of places where people tend to meet in bigger groups, like maybe churches, movie theaters, concerts, and keep distance from others when you're in public. 6 feet is recommended.